No, it isn't just one race. We had a second race going here, and that was a race against time. Normally we have about 4 days to get the track ready. 4 days, and we're usually pushing it. We started with concrete yesterday at noon. Worked through the night, had to have the racetrack ready by noon today. We had 24 hours to do everything. You talk about a race, this wasn't just a mirage out there. They just don't take a genie and rub a lamp and it appears. This was incredible to do in 24 hours.
24 hours and 500 truckloads later, the Silverdome is now ready for a non-stop evening of racing. At the riders' meeting, Joe Duncan and race director Carl Shabitsky prep the racers for a grueling weekend of racing.
All right, guys, welcome to Pontiac Silverdome. Although very beautiful outside, it would be not too shabby to race out here for some of the stuff we've gone through this season. But we got the luxury of a nice covered stadium here. Many things come into play with an indoor facility, guys. Obviously, no traction products if you don't have them out already. No carbides, no studs, no screws. That's for protection of the floor. Also protection for you guys. If you do go off the track, there is cement around the outside of the track. Let's be safe and have fun, guys. Thank you very much.
Later, the pros get to test out the track before this evening's event. Riding for Judnick Motorsports is last year's champion, number 837, Ross Martin. Racing for Shearing Speed Sports is veteran rider number 4, Robbie Malinowski. Representing Warnet Racing is last year's Rookie of the Year, number 11, Tim Tremblay. Representing Boss Racing is number 16, Brett Turcotte. And finally, riding for Monster Energy Arctic Cat is number 68, Tucker Hibbert. To get to the top of the podium, racers battle through a series of qualifying rounds and heats, including the LCQ, the Last Chance Qualifier. One last chance to earn a spot on the line for the final. The next round takes place here in Pontiac, Michigan.
First race of the season here in Pontiac, indoors at the Silverdome. What does that mean? That means it's going to be a short track.
This one will jump up and eat anybody at any time. It's an animal.
I think it's pretty small, like it's going to be a small track, not much snow, narrow, so it's going to be a good battle and hard to pass, so you're going to see people flying everywhere, I think.
Let's talk about lap traffic. Lap traffic is someone that's at the back of the field and the leaders came back around and caught them and going to pass them. They're going a lap down.
Drivers up front need to be very cautious around lap traffic. Once you get into the lap traffic, if you can't keep going with that forward momentum through the lap traffic and be aggressive to a point, it's going to allow second, third, and fourth to catch up.
Here's the situation. We're in a small venue. We're at the Silverdome. This is a small track. It's narrow. Hole shot is king. We're going to be in the lap traffic within 4 or 5 laps.
Getting out front is going to be important because I think in the first 4, 5, 6 laps of the race, it's going to give you an opportunity to distance yourself from second, third, fourth, whatever.
You can make it into the first turn, get back out in front, you're in pretty good shape. If you don't, and you're way in the back, it's going to be very difficult to pass.
You need to take and tiptoe your way through this minefield because all this lap traffic are going to be like mines that are scattered everywhere. And if you step in the wrong spot, if you make the wrong move, if you make the wrong contact, kaboom, it could take care of you.
Inside the Boss Racing trailer, Skidoo rider Brett Turcotte readies himself for a non-stop evening of racing.
I'm Brett Turcotte. I'm 23 years old. I'm a professional snowcross racer from Clearwater, British Columbia, Canada. You know, aside from racing and aside from even mostly the United States, you know, I'm just another 23-year-old dude living the streets and kicking it.
Turcotte's an interesting person. I mean, here's a guy, a Canadian driver, you know, has snowcross race, has done a little freestyle racing. You know, Turcotte's a strong rider, no doubt about it. 23-year-old, and he's the kind of driver, in my estimation, that will take the extra risk.
Who is Brett Turcotte? Brett Turcotte is someone that's getting faster and faster. Let's go back last year, rewind, go to Geneva, end of the year last race, made the podium. Some people thought, it was a fluke, he made the podium, it was the end of the year. Come to the first race in Duluth. all the questions were answered, he did it again.
Really, I'm just chasing after podiums and good results right now. So I'm just trying to prepare myself as much as I can before each weekend and go out and do my job.
Over at Shearing Speed Sports, veteran rider Robbie Malinowski gears up for his first race of the evening.
New York went well. Kind of got lucky. Tim was, he was in the lead, I think, when he had his sled broke. But you know what, I made some luck for myself maybe, or somehow or some way just stayed in there and stayed steady and finished third and kind of kept a string of thirds going, and definitely want to step up the third to a second or a first.
You talk about momentum. You want to see momentum? Watch the track and watch for number 4, Robbie Malinowski. He's the one that came out and actually denied Tucker. Tucker was on his bumper lap after lap after lap. Tucker couldn't get by him. It doesn't matter what Tucker tried to do, it didn't work.
Tucker's frustrated going, what the heck? I'm usually the person that can get around these guys relatively quickly. Robbie didn't let it happen.
I think everybody still has Tucker as the number 1 guy. Everybody still has Tucker as the guy to beat. Maybe the gap from beating him to feeling like you can't has shrunk quite a bit. In my eyes, I don't think he's shaken that much. I think he's going to come out this weekend and go for the throats, but that can go 2 ways. It can go really good for him, or he can be on his head again. I'm pretty tough to beat. I'm a good racer, so if I do that, I think I'm solid.
Heat 1. Right out of the gate, Malinowski grabs the hole shot and immediately battles with Turcotte for first. Turcotte takes the lead. Suddenly, Malinowski's forced off the track and falls into last place. Meanwhile, Turcotte distances himself from the pack. Malinowski struggles to get back into the race. Lap 2, race leader Brett Turcotte moves into lap traffic. Turcotte laps number 4 Skidoo rider Robbie Malinowski. Lap 10, Turcotte weaves through more lap traffic and takes the win, securing himself a spot in the Pro Open Final. As for Robbie Malinowski, a poor performance in Heat 1 may jeopardize his shot for a victory in the Dome. When we return, Ross Martin and Tucker Hibbert take the line for their first race of the evening. The battle for the championship point series is about to heat up. The AMSOIL Championship Snocross Series is brought to you by Polaris, by Skidoo, and by Arctic Cat.